Welcome, Sagittarius, to your monthly horoscope for October for the Sun or the Ascendant. If you've yet to subscribe to my channel, I'd be honoured if you did so now. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. I'd also like to briefly tell you about my year 2021 personal horoscope special offer. You can order your forecast now and get the rest of year 2020 free, plus a character analysis and 30% off. This is based on your time, date and place of birth, totally unique to you, and will give you much greater insights than just this sun sign forecast. But as for this month, well, it begins with Mercury, the planet of communication, which of course is known as being as in detriment in your sign. It's actually in the part of your horoscope that's to do with reflection as this month begins, but it's in shadow. That means it's slowing down, preparing to go into retrograde on the 14th of October. So it suggests that although the sun is in a very sociable location in the sign of Libra through to the 22nd, that you may have to juggle two kind of modes. Your thinking can be a little bit more inward, but your actions can be more outgoing, especially in terms of connecting to the people that are important to you. Now, that can be professionally or personally. The first day of this month sees a full moon in your sister fire sign of Aries. That suggests that the following 2 weeks could see you needing to juggle your time management, or it's possible that if you're in a committed relationship, you may not be seeing your friends or socializing as much as you would like, or perhaps your partner feels that you're too focused on those group activities and some kind of realignment may be necessary. But this full moon also combines with Chiron, the wounded healer. And if you are someone just in your personal journey who does find it more difficult to relax and be more playful, I feel that Chiron's conjunction with the moon in Aries is really encouraging you to embrace that inner child within you. It can be very good for you. Now, also as this month begins, Venus, the planet of love, is in your sister fire sign of Leo. So it's given you a taste of expanding your horizons or being much more on a quest to get to the truth of a close relationship. But it moves on the 3rd to the top of your scope, and through to the 27th gives you an awesome chance to really get to know some important or influential people. If you're attending an interview, putting applications in, it's the way you come across, the way you present yourself. Your charm can be just as important as your qualifications, but also in your love life. If you are considering making a greater commitment, Venus being in this location could see some kind of future date being put in the calendar of real significance. Now, by the 8th, we do see the sun moving into a square with the cluster of energy in the sign of Capricorn, which is your second solar house. But right from the off this month, Mars, the planet of drive and passion, is in a very positive part of your scope, but is in retrograde, and that's squaring up with Pluto for the first 3 weeks. That suggests that when it comes to your desires, it may be hard not to kind of go for it, especially if there's someone that you're incredibly drawn to at a more sultry level. But it also suggests that there could be the potential for tensions between you and loved ones over money if you and they see things differently. And I think the sun moving into the square with the cluster in Capricorn is much more about your future. Are your future hopes matching up to your personal values? Or are you having to toggle a little bit because of the reality, potentially the financial reality of COVID? And there may be some kind of judgment call that you have to make. Mercury goes retrograde on the 14th in Scorpio, which can slow something down or make you detach a little bit and require some real quiet and peace. But then the new moon, which occurs on the 16th, is very much to do with your future and being idealistic and getting together with the people that really count. But again, it needs to work for you in terms of your values. You're a sign that really does take this stuff seriously because your ruler Jupiter is, of course, very much a spiritual or philosophical influence, spiritual through its rulership of Pisces and more philosophical through your sign. But if you're involved in something or with a group of people that don't really meld with your sense of purpose and your sense of what's right, then that is going to become more obvious. Now, the 18th through to the 24th sees a great link between Venus and that cluster in Scorpio. So any conversations you've been having about employment or about formalizing a relationship can really reach a very positive set of days, and something can really firm up, which can absolutely delight you. The 23rd, however, sees the Sun move into Scorpio. So catching up with Mercury, the reverse in Mercury. So this is about having some peace and reflection. But on the 28th, Mercury inverses into Libra and Venus moves into the sign of Libra and into the most sociable part of your scope. So you can see you have this 11th, 12th house parallel running right through your scope, but in slightly different ways for the whole of the month. So really what I take from that for you is it's not the amount of friends that you have. It's not the wonderment of the future plans you have. It's how realistic some of those are, but also how sincere those friendships are. Now, as the month comes to a close, Mercury does square up with Saturn. So if there is something in the background of your situation which is to do with a friendship, but it's been put off, you're not really grappling with it because it's a sensitive subject, you could find yourself talking about it, and perhaps it will be a real heartfelt conversation. But the second full moon of the month, the blue moon, occurs on the 31st in Taurus, but that's conjunct Uranus, the planet of change. And for you, this is in your sector of work, of practicalities. You could find a fresh approach to these areas. Even your domestic situation can be improved by perhaps stepping back, taking a different view, doing some research, but particularly around your work. If you're doing a job which doesn't fulfill you, the money alone probably isn't going to be enough. And that's hard for you because the last couple of years has been so punishing for Sagittarians in terms of income. But I feel that if you do something that goes really against the grain, I think you could get an instant kind of karma from it. Not necessarily from outside, just in terms of yourself. It could be a sort of like a bit of an empty victory. So don't give up on your principles completely, but do be realistic. Obviously, earning money is crucially important. And if you've lost your job through COVID, you may have to take a short-term solution. But all the time, be mindful of what you really believe in. And most of all, in friendships and love ties, be guided by sincerity. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Sagittarius. Do stay safe, take care, and goodbye for now.